It's Tuesday, and that means that I'm having an after party, and I'm so happy you're here to join me. So, my dear friend Jay, we're having a little bit of technical difficulties. So, you know what? I'm doing the old-fashioned thing, and I'm going to phone her. Let's give her a call, you guys. I'm going to dial up here, and then we're going to put her on speakerphone. Here we go. This is how I did the talk shows when I first started. I don't know if you remember, a year ago. I didn't know how to use any of this, so I was calling people on the speakerphone.
Yay!
There she is!
Who are you telling that?
I'm live. I decided I was going to do live from the very beginning, like actually phoning you and listening to the phone ring.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
Isn't that good? So
that's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. I wanted to also let you know that our biggest critic, my mummy, watched the interview and she said she's very impressed. She liked it a lot.
And is she's your biggest critic, Mummy?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, thank you. Can you tell your mom thank you?
I will tell her thank you. I will.
And I hope to see her soon.
Yeah, I know. So, Jay, we were going to talk about some of our wild escapades together.
Yes. Yeah, that's true.
Oh, my God.
I remember. I'm trying to think. Did I meet you in Burlington at the Burlington Waterfront Craft Show?
That's what I'm thinking, that we met at Spencer Smith Park. But then I also got to thinking, do you remember a show that was at Appleby College, and it was put on by the Maycourt Club in Oakville, and it was earlier in the year. It was like in April, and it was indoors. It was like a pre-Mother's Day. Do you remember that?
Yeah. That was a rock and roll event.
Okay, it was. And I think that's where I met you, because I'm pretty sure I met you and I met Rosie and Ivan at the same time.
Rosie, the artist.
Yeah. Art by Ivan.
Right. She was a neat lady. I remember her.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I think that's where we met. And then, like, we kind of, we just met each other, and then we got to know each other more because of the outdoor festivals. And I think when we really bonded was in Barrie at Kempenfest.
And you invited me to sleep at your country house. And
yes.
Spend the weekend with your family. Yes,
that's
I totally remember that. And I remember how fun that was, for sure.
Yeah.
With your parents.
It was so much fun. It was so great. And then we had, do you remember when we had that crazy weekend where my mom had a couple of her friends come to the cottage, and then you were there with me and a couple other my girlfriends, and then I think it was Friday night we all got up there and we drank wine and we had like the best night, and then Saturday we started having a couple glasses before dinner, and we quickly realized we didn't have enough wine to get us through. So
I totally remember that.
Yeah, and then you said, okay, you know what? We got to hit the road. We got to go find wine. And I'm like, okay, nothing's open. Like, it was the liquor store had closed, and I was the only one who was still sober. So I drove. You said, just start driving. And remember we found that man who gave us the rosé?
I don't remember the specifics, but I totally remember that. If I had to pick out that man, I would not know, but I do remember, yes. We went on the hunt for wine, and it was an adventure. I do remember that.
I remember a lazy eye. That the man, there was something like, it sounds so mean, but there was something wrong with him. But,
I don't remember that. I don't remember the specifics.
Oh my God.
We needed our wine, and we needed to get it somehow.
Yep, we sure did. And
we got it.
Yeah, mission accomplished.
We paid that man, didn't we?
I think so. Did you give him like $10 or something? I can't
remember either. But
didn't my mom's friend get out of the car and say, "Bless you, sir, kind sir," and she gave him a kiss on the cheek? I think.
encountered. Yeah, totally.
Oh my God. And then I also remember we did that show in Amherstburg. And that was out. What's Amherstburg close to? Isn't that like on the way to London? Like you're almost going to Pelee Island direction?
Yeah,
Windsor?
it's out there. I would say I feel like it was close to Windsor.
Yeah, close to Windsor. That's right. And everything was like everything smelled so moldy, like the town, and we had our tents. And you know what amazed me about those days, Jay? Like, there we were with our jewelry, and we just leave it in the park overnight. Remember? Like, you never packed it up at the end of the night.
But most events we did, unless they were weekend events.
Yeah, like a weekend event, you just put your tarp around your tent, and that was it. But you didn't really do the tent thing, did you? I had like the friggin' condominium, and you'd be like, whatever. You wore your sun hat and hope for the best.
I was the worst. I'm surprised. I'm surprised I was allowed into some events. But yes, I kept it very minimal, with my card table again, and another table, and a couple suitcases. So I was in and out.
Oh my God, I know. I love those days.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because when I was in them, it was a lot of, as you know, there's a lot of schlepping involved in working those events. And I remember more of that, but recently, in the last few years, my girlfriend, who started a company called Cubby Cube,
okay,
there are these travel packs. That are color coordinated. So when her and her family go traveling, her daughter will have like the pink set, she'll have the orange set, and there's different sizes. Anyway, I did an event with her because that's what she does, is go around and does events to sell her product. And I remember having so much fun, and I'm like, what was I thinking? I'm like, I could do this again. I just had so much fun. And again, it's just meeting people and, hopefully selling a few things. Yeah, those were fun days.
They were. And I loved that environment for selling, and just, it really, I feel like it was such a perfect playground to really learn how to be a good salesperson.
Yeah.
And now, I know you don't do the social media thing, but for me with selling online, like it taught me that, you sell to people because you have things in common and you share stories, and then the sale is a product of a great connection. And I've tried to translate that when I'm selling online. Like sure, the odd post will say, buy this, it's beautiful. But for the most part, you want to make that connection and share a story, and people will buy from you as a result of that, right?
Yeah, totally. And what I really like about how you're selling now is it's more, your bottom line or your end line will have the pitch, I guess. But you have very much honed in on, giving a percentage to charity. By the sounds of it, you're doing some interesting ways of selling your product.
Yeah, for sure. And that's a really cool way for the storytelling to happen too, because when you're raising money for a charity, now you're sending the message about the charity and what they do and why it's important and the impact that they make. And, and then the women are wearing the bracelet pieces and they get a compliment, and then they share the story. Like, it's really cool how it just keeps going and going. Like, it's endless, so.
Yeah, it really is. And, since COVID, I'm hoping in the future there's going to be, a new world economy, really, where we're selling to, or even bartering for that. Not bartering, but exchanging.
Yeah, I think so.
Have you heard of Burning Man.
No.
It is a festival in Nevada, a huge festival, art festival, where people go in the desert and they basically, and that's it, they exchange. Like, people go in with tenting, caravans, and you go in with no money. At least this is how it started. You go in with no money, so if you need anything, like a shower, because it's super dusty, actually, you don't even exchange. It's like, you ask that person and they let you shower, and then you pass that on forward to somebody else that is in need of something.
Oh, that's amazing.
It is, yeah. I've always wanted to sort of experience that, and I do think there is something to that type of exchange.
Yeah, I do too. Well, look at us, even back at the shows. Like, I did a lot of my Christmas shopping that way, trading with other exhibitors, and you're just, it's like an exchange of love. You love what they're making, they love what you're making. And,
yeah, absolutely. But 2 of my favorite dishes are from an exchange that I did at one of our shows.
Oh, see that? And it's so meaningful then, because you got to meet the person who made it, and they have something of yours to remember you by. I love that.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, Jay, you know what I was laughing so hard at, though? Like, now with COVID, I mean, could you imagine what we used to do? Like, remember me? I'd just run up to people and shove a 10-strand necklace on their neck without even asking permission.
Oh, yeah.
Can you imagine that now? Like, not only are we, you're not touching people because of COVID, but now I'm realizing how much I did touch people without even asking. Or, like, I'm such a hugger. Like, I would just hug everybody. Like, some people don't like that,
No, they don't. But I think you're good at reading that as well. If somebody was giving you that vibe, I think you would,
Yeah.
I think you would not to hug them, because some people do need their space, for sure.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting, like, when this is over, just to see how we are with each other,
Yeah, I know. It really is.
It's weird. And, like you were saying, too, in the interview earlier, I'm looking forward to the world going back to normal, but I'm also, like, a little bit, like, I don't hate it right now, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that has something to do with the way that I was treating myself before pandemic, where I was running around after all the things I thought I should be doing. And now I'm really, like, focused in on what I want to be doing. And it's almost like a fear of having that taken away from me, if that makes sense.
Yes, totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Funny that you mentioned that. Yeah. The fear of things taken away. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Since I sold my condo, I've been blessed. Now I'm debt free and have a little bit of money, and it's so crazy because there is this fear, like, that my money's going to disappear somehow, and it's just like, I'm like, I might just, like, make things so confusing for myself, because I've been looking at places, and I actually almost bought a place on an island off of Vancouver Island where there's only, like, golf carts on the island.
Oh my God, I could totally see
and you canoe to, like, go get your groceries. Wouldn't that be cool?
That would be amazing. I would come stay with you for a month.
And that's what I was hoping, that was sort of the envision with this place, is having friends come from the city and, like, just hanging out totally in nature. And there's no shops on this place. The only thing that exists on this place, and actually its name, I guess, fame really, is a floating bar. And it's the only floating bar that is licensed in, I think, North America.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
But anyway, it's just, just the fear of, my money going away. And I'm just like, It's horrible. And I know there's a lesson to be learned in this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not quite sure what it is, but there's definitely a lesson because, you know, I'm very much about trust. And I'm like, is it because it's in the bank, the institutions, and that doesn't align with who I am?
Right. You know, it's so interesting that you're bringing this up because yesterday I was talking to this woman who I'd mentioned in the talk show, Whitney Hammond, and she's like a wealth advisor, and I interviewed her on the show, and she's got an interesting story. But so we were talking about investing, and she said to me, you know, your biggest investment is actually yourself and the ideas that you generate. So when you have, so she said, for example, like, and I'll just tell you what she said, the advice she gave me, and you could translate this into anything really. Like she said, she asked me, okay, so how many pieces of jewelry do you think you make in a year? So I came up with the number, and she goes, okay, I want you to not only double that number, I want you to add another 30% on. So it was like, okay, so there's the number. And she goes, now, if you took 10% of, not 10%, if you took $1 from each piece and you put it aside in a savings, like imagine doing that. And so what you do is you just put this simple number up there and you start putting that dollar away every time you sell something. And now you're just creating this action of saving. So now your mindset is on accumulation. It's not on depletion, right? And so as you accumulate and accumulate, you start getting excited and you want to accumulate more and more ideas come in. So she said, you know, don't worry so much about losing the money because it's going to come as long as you're focused on the saving of it and of the building of these buckets, right? Which I think you're so good at. But, you know, you think about all the things, like even for you, like, you look back to like when you had your jewelry and then you had, you know, you're working in dental, you had your uniform business, you had your tenants, like you take $1 out of each of those things and you put it away, like that sort of thinking,
absolutely.
You know? Yeah.
I see where you're going with that.
Yeah. And she was saying like, even if you have debts, like keep saving anyway, because the debt will always be there. Like, and yeah, get rid of that debt and the debt will, she didn't say the debt will always be there. She said the debt will go away, but you need to keep the saving going all the time. Otherwise you feel like all you're doing is working to pay off debt, you know? So,
right.
Yeah.
Or, you know, or just even working, you know, just to pay your bills.
Yes, exactly. So,
you know,
yeah.
And this is what I have a problem with our system. Is, you know, people are stuck in these jobs that, you know, have no creativity. And because I sort of experienced this in dentistry, and that's why I have to keep it to a minimal, but it definitely helps pay the bills. And it also, you know, keeps some type of momentum going in my life. But, you know, just some people are stuck in their jobs where, you know, they're not being treated well and they're not being paid enough. And, you know, there's really no way out, right? And they're forced to do it unless, you know, I don't know, you know, are really creative. And, I mean, most people are fortunate enough to have the resources stored away in order to be extremely creative and do their job. I guess maybe they are.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, I think the same, you know, like even having worked for a big corporation, like when I was at Canada Post, your creativity, you know, at that time it was fairly limited. Like it's still like a bureaucratic system where there's nothing really I could do to make significant change there, you know?
Right.
So, and that's sort of where you feel like I think that's why this happens to people. Like after 18 years, I was done. I was maxed out. Now, I've had my jewelry business. I mean, I picked up my first bead in 1993, and I don't see how I would ever stop. I mean, the creativity keeps coming and coming, right?
Yes.
And it's my playground to play in and do what I want with. So, yeah, even for my own mental health, I would rather have this than a whole bunch of money and not being able to be creative in my life's work. Like that would suck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that balance. It really, it is a balance. So, of really trying to sustain yourself.
Yeah.
And, we're also getting to an age, right, where we're probably thinking differently.
Yeah, I think so.
In the sense of finances.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. And also we're thinking differently, like with what you said before about just being like, really mindful of approaching things with love and, not getting all bent out of shape about the things that we can't control.
That's right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So,
and that's in our control.
Yeah.
To be able to do that, right? Because, I walk down the streets, and particularly when I was at King and Bathurst, was a certain demographic in the area, and just like so much drama and like just interesting reactions. And I used to be like that, and I'm just like, it isn't, and I'm not saying I don't react to anything anymore, but it's becoming less and less, and it's a good feeling when your mind doesn't take control over you, because that's what it is, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that fascinating? Like when you think about it, you can lie to yourself all day long.
Well, most people do, but you can lie to yourself all day long, but they are being lied to. We are being lied to.
Yes. Yeah.
By the 1% or the 5% or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah.
If you feed into that system, right? The advertising, this is going to make you, owning a house is going to make you happy. Just even the way they advertise condos, it's like your life is just going to be a dream once you buy a condo, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But is that really the case? Probably not. Because it comes from the inside. It's not from the outside.
Yeah.
Environment has an influence, but it really, joy comes from the inside.
Yeah, it sure does. And we're, I love our generation that we are. I don't know. It just feels like, maybe in comparison to our parents or whatever, like we're more, we explore ourselves a little bit more and how we tick and what moves us and what drives us, and we question things. And yeah, it's an interesting time. I like being over 50, that's for sure. Like,
I just like being in this era that we're living in. I love seeing the young people and hearing the young people talk about their goals and their ambitions. And I think there's a wonderful, wonderful group of kids that are entering the working force that I think, are going to definitely be part of our change.
I do.
The institution.
Yeah. And it's incredible. Like, with COVID, I mean, I remember hearing once, if you want to see an artist create something beautiful, take away all of their materials. Like, and it's true. Like, that's what's happening to people. We have to create with all of these restrictions, and beautiful things are blossoming. I mean, yeah, it's so cool. Oh my God, Jay! I'm so happy
and to be part of this is super. Like I'm so happy I'm part of COVID, because it's fascinating to see what is transpiring and how people are reacting. I mean, I must say I live right across from an encampment and a shelter.
Okay.
And when I was down at Camp Bathurst, at the beginning of COVID, and it has continued, definitely people are struggling. There's a lot, I feel like it's people that were fine before COVID, and as soon as COVID hit, the stress has gotten the better of them. And, when COVID first, Iker Tolle.
Yes, of course.
When COVID first struck us, I just went to go see what he was telling the world. I was curious to hear what he was giving advice on. And he basically said, if your foundation was not stable when COVID hit, that's when, the more likelihood that you're going to crack.
Yeah.
And so I sort of feel like the people that have cracked, their foundation was not stable to begin with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Unfortunately, and I mean, again, we are so blessed that we're not in circumstances that, millions of Canadians are in.
Yeah, that's right.
And then the evictions going on. But one really wonderful thing that has happened through this in the city is the rent going down dramatically.
Yeah.
And that was so needed.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah, I'm so happy to hear that because people need to live, God. And, it's hard.
People need to save. All their money is going into their living expenses. People need to save.
Yeah, that's right. They got to save their bucks, man. I still remember back in, oh God, I'm trying to guess now. Was it like 2008 when all of the property taxes in Toronto almost doubled? And people were not able to live in homes where they paid off their mortgage.
The mortgage interest rate.
Yeah, it was horrible.
Yes.
Yeah. No, we got to take care of our peeps.
Yeah, exactly, Monica. And that's what it's about. We need to take care of our people. We really do. We're all connected at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So, that mortgage crisis, my neighbor, that happened to her.
Oh, yeah?
So, yeah, and I think they bought their place within a week of the interest rate going up.
Oh my God, that's awful. Wow.
Anything can happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it's a fragile world.
It is a fragile.
Is your mom listening?
My mama is listening, but with this Instagram, I can't see her here, but she's listening and she'll be giving her report again. Yeah, for sure.
Hi, Karen. I hope you're well, and I hope to get to see you soon.
Yeah.
And I loved the interview with you and Monica. It was your mom's birthday.
Yeah, it was my mom's birthday.
You had the bubbly going.
That's right. We had the bubbly going. It was good. So I said to her, maybe we're going to have to do another one of those this year again on her birthday. I think annual Mama's birthday is worth it.
I think so. I watched the whole interview. I think that's one of your longest interviews, too.
Yeah, it was a good one. Aww.
Yeah, it was nice hearing the stories again about traveling in the back of the VW.
Yeah, the Volvo.
The Volvo, that's right.
Yeah, and my mom is, so right now she's translating her journals and letters and everything from that trip back and forth, with her parents. And so, we're working on a book. Hopefully by my mom's birthday, we'll announce that we're going to have a book coming out.
Wow, that's incredible. That's so much fun.
It's so great. Amazing. Talk about a good story. Yeah, it's great.
I look forward to it.
All right.
Anyway, girlie.
Thank you, Jay.
So, go train. I'll be go training it down there when the weather gets warmer and we can just hang outside.
Yeah, I would love that. That would be perfect.
Maybe even take a walk along Burlington Spencer Park.
hit the beach.
Is there a beach in Burlington?
Yes.
I would love to go to that beach.
Yeah, you can bring your rollerblades. There's a board.
Well, so funny that, yes, I don't have a pair of rollerblades. I haven't rollerbladed for like maybe 8 years, but it's time, Monica.
Yeah, you need to get some.
I just feel like this is the next step, because I told you I'm in a couple bike accidents, right?
Yeah.
So I feel and that's it. I've been taking this time to also heal, and I would say I'm at my best, and I feel like rollerblades is my next step to heal me completely.
Oh, good. Well, we need to get you the elbow pads and the knee pads and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah, because I don't have those anymore, but yes, I will not be going out without those.
I love it. Okay, my friend. Well, I will let you get back to your day. Thank you so much for today. You were amazing.
Okay, and thank you. And sorry, so where am I going to see this?
So I'm going to email you. I'm going to upload it to YouTube now, and then I will email that to you so you have it, and you can share it with the whole world.
Okay. Thank you, girlie.
Okay.
We'll talk soon, Moni.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Smoked sardines and Triscuits coming up.
Oh, yeah. Perfect.
Okay. Love you too. Okay. Hasta luego.
Hasta luego. Bye. Oh, gosh, you guys. Thank you so much. That was a fun after party. Nothing wrong with the speakerphone every once in a while. Anyway, have a great day. Keep showing the world your sparkle, and I cannot wait to see you next week. Bye for now.